So I had an idea over 20 years ago that came to me just kind of out of the blue. I had nothing but time on my hands, and the mind starts working. And because I was looking at the way we design cities, and they're just it's nonsense. It's stupid. Um, and then having garbage trucks coming in and out, and mail trucks and all this. It's not efficient. Um, it makes it crowdy, makes it dirty, crowded, not crowdy, crowded, dirty. That's what causes people to get angry and frustrated and pissed off, and then road rage happens and all. So anyway, in my mind, I thought, well, basically everything in the universe is circular, or somewhat circular. You know, maybe not exact circle, but it's basically circular. Planets, the solar systems, and I would imagine the universe. Atoms and everything, right? So I thought, okay, well, that's how you design the city. One giant circle, right? And what you do before you even start, you got to go way down, and build it from underground, because all of your mail comes from underground, running on conveyor belts, and then getting to the address, and it just shoots right up into your box, for example. Um, or you have another little spot where you got for packages. And then trash, same thing. Why would you need big trucks? You don't need big trucks, right? So you put your trash in the kitchen. You don't even have to bag it up uh, or anything. You hit a button, it drops down a chute into a type of bucket that's on a conveyor belt, and it goes down, dumps into a bit larger bucket, and that goes to the outside of the city where they recycle everything. Efficient, right? And clean. So you're not wasting. You don't have all the carbon monoxide spewing from these trucks. You don't have the noise. You don't have the everything that's involved with it. And so, like I said, on the outskirts, that's where you have any delivery trucks. That's where you have them come, right? And then underground, everything gets sorted and processed and whatnot. And again, trash. Uh, if you do it right, just about everything can be recycled, or actually, if you do it right, everything can be recycled or reused in some way. And I was surprised to hear that almost none of our trash is recycled. Like in some cities, some states, they have, like out in California, they had, you got three trash cans. One is for your organics, your leaves and your, you know, orange peels and things like that. And then another's for recyclables, like bottles and cans. And then the others for all the other stuff. Um, and foodstuffs like bones and things, those can be, you grind those up and mix them in with manure and other things. You can make compost from those things. So everything can be reused. We have to start thinking like the planet. I mean, Mother Earth recycles everything, and I mean everything. As well with the water. So you build the lower levels, like I said, with the conveyor belts for trash and packages, mail. Then before you start building the house, underneath, like where your lawn would be, um, you have a it like kind of boxed in metal, right, with a little space, and that's full of water, and then a little like a metal mesh, if you'll, screen, right, and then you have this your soil, and then the roots. So grass roots are just a few inches, a couple inches, or less. So you just have enough soil, and so that the grade is here, and then the water is touching, and the soil will is like a sponge, will absorb the water. So if that stays full with water, the roots from the grass will absorb that water, and there's no waste of any water. You don't need to water the lawn. You just keep that full. You just have um, make sure that just stays absolutely full, and then the plants will just constantly absorb the water. That's for all plants, you know. Well, not all plants, but you know what I'm saying. Some plants don't need much water, and it will basically drown if you do too much, you know. But you know what I'm saying. You figure it out on how much you need. So the water never actually goes, you know, down into the earth and gone. So it will stay right there. Also, like your gray water, the gray water is your sinks. That water can also be recycled, and then you can use that water for, you know, your lawn and plants and whatnot. You can, I mean, if you, you know, recycle it properly, you can drink that water. It'd be perfectly fine. Most people they'll have it in their head like, oh, it came from that, but nature recycles all of it, right? So whether you like to think of it or not, or believe it or not, every single one of us is drinking recycled urine and feces and spit and sweat and whatever. I mean, where do you think it goes? Dog pees on a tree. A lot of it gets absorbed by the tree and the dirt. Some of it gets evaporated, goes in the atmosphere, and once it's up there, it gets recycled and cleaned, and because it's just the vapors, you know, water vapors, and then comes back down, fills up the aquifer with water, and then you drink it. You know. Anyhow, so you have it like that, right? You got to build the houses as well, so that they're more eco-friendly, but also more sturdy. You know, so they can handle high winds and earthquakes and, you know, tornadoes and whatnot. And it's not that difficult. But the way we build them now, and then especially out of, you know, so much wood and whatever, you know, they can get destroyed. You need to replace the roof and this and that, you know, pretty regularly. So then we're running through, you know, so much wood and other materials when it's not necessary. And I'm not saying like modular homes, which I mean you could do, where they're like prefab homes. You just put it there, but you know it's not that difficult to make the home one solid piece, including the roof. But you can make it look, you can still make it look similar to the houses today. On the outside, you can make it look like, you know, but still one solid piece, so it's not going to get so much damage from weather. Anyway, and so then you got your circle city, right? And so you have your main thoroughfares, one this way, one this way, this way. Those are like your main streets to come in and out of the city, and then you have your center is like your city center, civic center, and whatnot. Maybe public library, saying that type of stuff. And you got your street around it, and then so the next level will be, certain businesses, and then for, it's like one block wide, right? And then you have your street, and then you have another level that goes around, wider, houses, schools, blah, 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 on and on and on, parks. And so the reason it's more so efficient, you can be on the end. Let's say you have a city that's, I don't know, say 20 square miles, right? But it's in a circle. You can go from one end to the next quick because it's just a straight shot. You're not doing this and this and this and. Also, in my idea, now just to get this straight, when I it came to me, I hadn't been on the internet almost at all in my life. I literally had just sent a handful of emails, only because I was traveling. Other than that, I had not actually been on the internet prior to that. And I'm saying that because years after that, I discovered the Venus Project. And it was almost identical to what I'm talking about. Circular City and things like that. A lot of automation and things, and I was like, how? I mean, because I literally hadn't read a book on it, hadn't been on the internet to see it, but it was almost identical. And so this has nothing to do with that. I mean, it was a pleasant surprise. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go look up the Venus Project. It's called that just because they were based out of Venus, Florida. So, anyhow. So, another thing, for example, when it comes time to clean the streets, clean the sidewalks, you have all that coming from underneath, right? And so, you got your sidewalk, and you can have a piece just open up, and you can have some large versions of like a Roomba, that come out at night, like early morning, late night, and the street will just get blocked off. You have the little things that pop up or whatever, block the street, and a bunch of Roombas come out, and they pick up the dirt, and then they scrub it with water, hose it down basically, just like the street cleaner would do, and you can do that every night, keep that spotless, and then they just go back in. The street opens back up, and they move to the next street, and the sidewalks, Now I know, with a lot of automation, obviously becomes, jobs. Like there's who's working. So obviously this is not something that most societies nowadays, if you set it up in the same way, would be able to function properly. They wouldn't be able to figure it out probably. But in the future, it's let's keep it real. In the future, most people probably won't be working in traditional jobs. Especially your low level, like your fast food and things like that. It's, 20, 30 years, certainly 50 plus years from now, I doubt if there'll be anybody. They might have, one or two people there just to make sure everything's running right. But it would probably be, everything would be automated by then. I mean, they've already got all the automation to be able to do it now. But there's kinks to be worked out, and then, it's expensive, but in time it'll come down. But anyway, so you get the idea. Actually, it's like how they say Atlantis was, if Atlantis ever existed or not. It was a circular city, right? It was by the water, so you actually had um, waterways that came through it in that same way, where like it's a circle and one comes this way and whatever, and you know, so it's kind of like that concept. Um, and then, in terms of energy, for electricity and whatnot, you've got so many alternatives right now already. Um, and you're like I said before, there's no just one alternative. You use a lot of them. You can use hydrogen. You can use a little bit of solar, a little bit of wind, a little bit of vibration energy. You can use y- you know magnet energy. There's actual generators that use magnets, and once you get them going, they don't stop and they just keep generating power. That those are a bit. You have to get all the materials, and then there's a lot of mining involved, and the pricing, and so that's not the most efficient one. But I'm just, you know, there's going to be multiple avenues to get the proper energy. So you understand my general point is it's much more efficient style of city, and um, more eco-friendly. Uh, and I think all that combined, if you lived in a city like that, you'd be a lot more at peace, wouldn't you? I mean, you'd be more relaxed. You'd have less traffic, just because you don't have any of the trucks and those things like that. So that would reduce traffic significantly. Um, and what you could do actually is, since you have all that underground, you can actually use the underground as transportation. So if you're gonna go, you want to go downtown and you're on the far end, maybe you can just do it from the front in front of your house, in your backyard. A little like a phone booth type of thing. You go in there and you get lowered down into a little cart. You move on to the track, and you want to go downtown. Boop, it takes you downtown to what stop you want to go. No need for cars cluttering anything up. No need for cars spewing toxic chemicals everywhere. I mean, there'd be no more road rage, right? You would eliminate all that, cleaner. So there's a little bit more to it, but I had it all sketched out, and I drew up drew pictures of it and everything, and I lost all of that stuff. So it's maybe you don't fully understand what I'm talking about, but anyway, I'm trying to get everything that's in my head out before it's my time to go, which may not be too far in the future. So anyway, if you have any ideas, questions, whatever, let me know. Thanks.